suppliers in the industry, such as Train and Johnstone Supply. Envirotech Air Quality Services serves over 500 residential and commercial customers, many of whom are long-term clients. A large portion of their business comes from customer referrals, and they are the preferred AC vendor to two of the largest polo clubs in the region. They value each and every customer and tailor their services and recommendations to their needs and financial situations. Thane Brunsvold, the president of Envirotech Air Quality Services, oversees each project with his hands-on approach on each job. Ask about their free 12-month residential service contract. Contact Envirotech Air Quality Services today at 561-327-4486.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
And we're back with Ask the Expert show. We're waiting for our air condition specialist to come on with us, Envirotech Air Quality Services. And while we're waiting for him to come on, well, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a news hound. Renee and I had a morning show for a couple years. We did a 3-hour morning show. And what was amazing was we had a lot of people from the White House and reporters calling into our show because it was a pretty incredible show. And a lot of you know I am conservative. I got to tell you, this has really gotten to me. I don't know if it's gotten to you or not, but this whole thing about defunding the police department. And I keep asking myself, you know, who are people going to call if you have an emergency? I mean, I just don't. And some people say, well, you're misunderstanding what people are saying. But I heard Omar today, the congresswoman from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, and she said, no, I'm not misunderstood. This is rotten to the core, the police department. And I was looking at stats, and listen, I'm going to tell you something. I hate for someone to be killed in white or black. It doesn't matter. Parents should not have to bury their kids. But I got to tell you, sometimes, they tell us that, that the police department needs to have better training. And I got to tell you, that's true. But I'm also going to tell you that maybe people, black or white, I don't care what color you are, should be trained not to resist also. Now, I know George Floyd wasn't resisting, but I got to tell you, I mean, I've watched the video several times with the guy in Atlanta, and that was resisting. I don't care what you want to call it. And it was amazing because 2 weeks ago, the Atlanta DA, the district attorney in Atlanta, said that tasers are deadly. Well, today he's saying different. He's saying they're not deadly. So I don't know which one it is. And, we get so much confusion out there. I feel sorry for people who really don't keep up with the news the way you actually should, because there's so much going on out there right now. And I was looking at this, what's going on in Seattle. Listen, if you've got a question or a comment, you can call us right now at 888-565-1470. It's 888-565-1470. I don't know what happened to our 6:30 guest. Maybe he'll call in, but while we're waiting for him, boy, this has really been weighing on my mind. I'm looking at Seattle and I'm seeing the mayor there basically saying, it's a love fest. And I'm hearing the media say, well, these people, they're just camping out, they're not harming anybody. But, there's businesses there, there's residents there. And I got to tell you that I saw some of the business people being interviewed on TV, and they said, they thought they were going to be open last week, and they can't be open now. There's tents being pitched. I mean, they're literally taking over a 6 block area, including the police department. Now, the bad thing about it is, there's other people in other cities. They're going to see this and they're going, what? We could do the same thing. They're not going to do anything to us. And before you know it, man, we've got cities all over the United States that people are camping out, taking over the city, and we just can't let that happen. Listen, I don't, if you're a Democrat, I'm sorry to say this, but do you realize that look at the cities with all the high crime rates? They're all run by these Democrats, these leftist Democrats. The mayor of Seattle, the mayor of New York, De Blasio, um, the mayor of Chicago. I mean, it's just amazing how, and I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about it, the crime rate has gone way up in New York. And I'm going to have Bernie Carrick on in the next couple of weeks. Bernie Carrick was the police commissioner during, uh, I guess, 911. What happened, it was so sad. He was the police commissioner, and he worked with Julie. Um, well, I just forgot his last name, but they these people, the way they're running their cities, and you know what, their economy is so bad that I don't, maybe they need to take a course. If you'd like to chime in, you can give us a call here at 888-565-1470. People are saying we're so divided now. I got to tell you something. We were divided way before President Trump came on. So this is not something that he caused. You will hear that everything that goes wrong, that it's Trump's fault. I heard one of the newscasters talking the other night and saying that COVID is Trump's fault. You can only go with the information that's given to you. And for anyone to say that President Trump was late getting started, you need to go look at the dates when we found out and when he shut down people coming here from China and the things that he's done. I mean, this is still new to all of us, not just to the president. I mean, even the doctors, the experts, one tells you wear a mask, one says don't wear a mask. We've seen all these protests. I was reading about the protesters today, and here they were all gathered together, and some had masks on and some didn't have masks on, and they haven't noticed yet the numbers really going up at all. So the press is going, wait a minute, the president wants to have this rally in Oklahoma with, COVID-19 going on. Where were they when all these protesters in Washington, D.C. and Chicago and Brooklyn, they weren't complaining about it then. President's first stop is going to be in Oklahoma, and he's going to be doing his rally there. And I don't know the exact numbers, but the one that I hear the most of is they've had over 200,000 requests for tickets. That's a lot. Now, I'm sure a lot of those are people also from Texas and throughout Oklahoma, but 200,000 requests. They keep saying that Biden's in the lead, but can you even imagine Biden getting even more than 15 or 20 requests for him to come out and do a rally? I mean, I haven't seen it yet. Um, I guess our guest isn't going to show today, so I'm going to kind of stand on my soapbox and talking about what's going on, at least give you some thought because there's a lot of stations out there, both national and local, that don't give you all the news. A friend of mine called me up from California yesterday and she said, "Have you ever watched Fox?" Now, listen, Fox does a lot of things I don't like either, but she has only watched CNN, which has probably one of the lowest audiences, and MSNBC, and even their big shot Rachel Maddox, her numbers have been falling off drastically. But she was watching Fox, and especially at night, they try to show both sides. And she was amazed. She said, there were so many things on there that I have never heard about. And we're going to talk about those things when we come back because she was telling me about her friends in Florida saying, "Oh, come out. The restaurants are fine. We're partying. We're having a good time." And you know what? Our numbers here in Florida are going up. I know the governor says they're testing more people, but our numbers are going up here. And I just hope that it wasn't too early to start opening up, though. Listen, I do understand we cannot ever, ever, ever close the country down again like we did. But I do understand when the numbers start going back up again and people aren't wearing masks and they aren't doing the 6 feet apart. I was kind of like our last show is like when we have a hurricane and we go out and buy all these goods and nothing happens and we kind of start getting lax, and it kind of looks like that's what we're getting here with the mask and the washing of the hands. But we're going to go to break right now, and when we come back, and just going to throw some more things at you. This is the Ask the Expert show. If you want to watch us live, you can go to Ask the Experts on Facebook. Ask the Experts, Steve O host, and you can actually watch our show live. And if you got a comment, give us a call at 888-565-1470. We'll be right back.
At Envirotech Air Quality Services, their qualified technicians are experts in the air conditioning and heating field. They make sure to stay up to date with the latest technology and methods so that they can provide their Palm Beach area customers with superior HVAC services. Their technicians are trained by well-known manufacturers and suppliers in the industry, such as Trane and Johnstone Supply. Envirotech Air Quality Services serves over 500 residential and commercial customers, many of whom are long-term clients. A large portion of their business comes from customer referrals, and they are the preferred AC vendor to two of the largest polo clubs in the region. They value each and every customer and tailor their services and recommendations to their needs and financial situations. Thane Brunsvold, the president of Envirotech Air Quality Services, oversees each project with his hands-on approach on each job. Ask about their free 12-month residential service contract. Contact Envirotech Air Quality Services today at 561-327-4486.
And we're back. This is the Ask the Expert show We have been running for the last 6 years here on 1470. We're also on 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM. You can actually watch us live by going to our Facebook at Ask the Experts, Steve O host, and you can actually watch the show on our Facebook page. Thanks to Freddie Santori, who produces the show. We were supposed to have our guest today come in uh, to talk about air conditioning and Virotech, who's like one of the finest air conditioning companies ever. Um, Tomorrow morning at 8:45, I will be having my second knee replacement, and I don't know if I don't know if your doctor has told you that you might want to consider a knee replacement. I have about 8 or 9 friends of mine who wanted to know after my first one back in January what it's like. And I got to tell you, it was the worst. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it was a piece of cake. It was painful. There's a lot of uh, physical therapy you have to do. Nothing good about it. It's been a little over 5 months now since I had my left knee done, and it's still not 100% yet. It will be tomorrow morning. I'm having my right knee done, and I'm just friends of mine said this is not the right time to do it, but you know what? When is the right time? When is there a bad time or a right time? So tomorrow morning I will be having surgery on my knee, and Rhonda, who's done such a great job before filling in for me, will be filling in Thursday and probably next week. I will try to come back a lot sooner this time than last time, especially with the video. It makes it a lot easier. Our guest today was Envirotech. They were supposed to be here today, and who knows, maybe he had an emergency come up. They're such a great company, Envirotech Quality Air. So I just kind of got into a little politics today because it is crazy out there. It's insane out there. Um, I mean, I'm going to admit I am for Trump. Uh, it was really funny. I was wearing a Trump hat at the grocery store, and you hear all these people tell you that oh, a person got beat up for wearing a Trump hat. I actually had about 7 or 8 people stop me in the store telling me what a great hat that was. I was like shocked because you hear of people who've literally gotten beaten up for wearing anything that had to do with Trump. Uh, I wonder why. This is something I've thought about. At my mail place, they listen to my show every week. We're on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7. They listen to the show every week, and they know that I'm conservative, and they love talking politics. But when I'm in the store, I'm not allowed to talk about it loud. It's like I'm supposed to be embarrassed to be a Trump supporter. That's really sad. There's a lot of people that don't want to admit they're Trump supporters. The guy has done a great job. And I got to tell you, I could make a list now a mile long of the accomplishments he's had. And I got to tell you, I hear these talking points, these Democratic talking points that just blows me away that no one ever has a comeback question for them. They just act like they accept it, which is sad. And there's so many times that I've watched other stations because I want to know what they're talking about, and there's just no follow up. There are softball questions given to other Democrats. Um, I don't understand why the media is so against President Trump. And I'm going to tell you something, it's going to get worse over the next 5 months. They are going to do everything they can, which not like they haven't. They're going to do everything they can to stop him. Um, if you've seen any of the polls, almost every one of the polls show Biden ahead of Trump. Now, you really need to learn how to read a poll because if you really look at the small print, you will see a lot of the polling is done by maybe 20 to 25% Republican and about 50%, 60% Democrat, and then the rest are independent. That's one of the reasons why the polls are showing that Biden's ahead. I mean, if you have ever listened, and I actually got to tell you, I feel sorry for Biden because if you've heard him speak, sometimes he can't even complete a sentence. The other night he went off on something and he was stuttering and he was looking down and he was rubbing his forehead and you could tell he just completely forgot what he was talking about. I don't see how the Democrats can put Biden up as their nominee because I mean, I got to tell you, I think he is starting, if it hasn't kicked in yet, a form of dementia because he will. Sometimes he thinks he's still running for senator. Some of the things he said that President Trump said never did say, and this is who the Democrats are putting up. So just if you ever get a chance, listen to him. And why do they want to keep him in his basement? Terry McAuliffe, who used to be the governor of Virginia, he had about 20 Democrats on a phone call. Somebody released the phone call and they said, we need to leave Biden, Vice President Biden, in the basement. What does that tell you about what they think of Biden if they want to keep him in the basement? I It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to allow him to debate President Trump. If I was Trump, who gets to call the shots on the debates, right now they're scheduled for three. But if President Trump says, I want to do five, it's going to be five. If I were President Trump, I would do as many debates as possible with Biden. But I don't understand how this person could be their nominee. Now, some people are saying that when they get to convention, that Cuomo could get in. But let me tell you something, that would be just as bad. I know a lot of New Yorkers like Cuomo, but I got to tell you, a lot of those deaths in those nursing homes was Governor Cuomo. He also had back in 2015, I'm sounding like Biden now. In 2015, they told him he did not have enough ventilators. And he bought like 200 of them and didn't, that's it. That's all he bought. And when they didn't use them for 2 years, they ended up selling them. So it was Governor Cuomo's fault that they didn't have any supplies. It wasn't the president's fault. When the president came to Washington, the cupboards were bare, just like they were for our military. But that's up to the governors and the mayors to have these supplies. So I got to tell you, it was President Trump that saved a lot of people. He's the one that brought the the hospital ship to New York. He's the one that opened up the Javits Center. He's the one that got Samaritan's Purse into New York. You know what Cuomo wants to charge the people who came in from Samaritan's Purse? He wants to charge them state taxes. Can you believe that? I mean, it's like insanity. Here's people who came in to help, and he wants to charge them taxes. So, got a lot going on, people. A lot going on, and listen. I'm sorry if you're not conservative, if you did not like tonight's show, but hey, it's my show. I can do whatever I want with it as long as I don't say the 7 bad words. Uh, but I do appreciate you tuning in. We will be back. We won't, but we'll be back. Our show will be back Thursday from 6 to 7 with Rhonda filling in for me. And I'm going to go get the knife on my knee tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. God bless everybody. God bless our country. And we'll see you back soon.